WWE Departures Confirmed, plus so much more. We're going to talk about it all right here on the Ango Show.
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to kick things off with an update really quick on Odyssey Jones. We talked about this yesterday, that Odyssey Jones was removed from the WWE.com profile. No superstar bios are being listed. He's been completely removed from WWE.com. WWE sources have yet to comment on this. However, Dave Meltzer does believe that Odyssey Jones is gone from the company. And to further this just a little bit, there has been no mention yet again of Odyssey Jones this week on television in regards to the Kofi Kingston Xavier Woods storyline, which is very telling. And it's very telling that this is the situation because, well, he was in the middle of a storyline. And there have been times in the past where, you know, superstars were in the middle of a storyline and then they got released. We saw what happened to Aleister Black, now known as Malachi Black. So that is something to keep in mind. It does sound like Odyssey Jones is done with the company. For some reason, I don't know if this is just me having like wishful thinking or something. Maybe WWE is doing some sort of storyline, but just based on everything that's out there, it just doesn't seem like that is plausible. Now, I do want to kind of point this out because I do think it is important to mention this. Odyssey Jones was starting to get over. Odyssey Jones was somebody who was starting to get reactions. Odyssey Jones, for 2 years, was signed to the main roster, never utilized, then gets utilized into the main roster. The fans start to love him, and then he's gone. I don't know if there's a random scenario or a random situation that has happened. Nobody's talking about it. It just seems so weird, and I'm not trying to be like a conspiracy theorist here, but it just seems so weird that like he's gone. And typically with WWE stars, when it comes to releases, more often than not, usually there is a wave of superstars that are released at the same time. And that doesn't appear to be the case here. So I don't want to speculate on anything. There's nothing here that is actually confirmed, but it sounds like Odyssey Jones is gone from the company. And for what reason, I don't know. But I did want to bring you guys that update because WWE is clearly not commenting on this. Nobody's able to get answers. And it just seems like a very weird situation. I also want to point out, because it is important to mention this, Odyssey Jones is part of the main roster. Some people think that maybe he could be released and have like a 30-day non-compete clause, but that doesn't appear to be the case. Odyssey Jones has been working the main roster live events, so if he has been released, in fact, if that is true, he would be on a 90-day non-compete clause. But nonetheless, we'll keep him moving. WWE held a mandatory talent meeting prior to WWE Raw yesterday, and there was something that came out of it that kept me really intrigued and maybe a little bit hypocritical. Per PW Insider, WWE held a talent meeting that basically suggests, coming out of the discussion, is that talents are now being told to be mindful of not cursing while they are on camera. Now, this is fascinating because Triple H just the other month was talking about how there's going to be less restrictions on Netflix. Now, all of a sudden, talent are being, held in a meeting where they're being told, hey, you cannot curse while on camera. I don't know what the situation is, but I will tell you guys this. WWE, when it comes to cursing on TV, rules for me, not for thee. Let me explain. The Rock shows up, he gets on TV, he starts swearing, he does whatever the hell he wants, and that's because he is Dwayne The Rock Johnson. However, we know that wouldn't slide for a guy like Apollo Crews or Baron Corbin or Bronson Reed. And I don't like that. I don't know what the situation is, if this is WWE just temporarily doing this because, hey, until Raw is on Netflix, we got to be restrictive. But I have a very strong feeling, and maybe I'm wrong here, but I have a very strong feeling even when WWE gets to Netflix, I have a strong feeling that they will not be having as much freedom as we all thought that they would. And maybe I'm wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong. Personally, I would love to be wrong here. SmackDown's moving to USA Network next week. USA Network and the CW are definitely going to be restrictive when it comes to the swearing Fox was terrible. Fox would censor Holy Shit Chance. USA Network does the same thing. I mean, for crying out loud, WWE is on Peacock, a streaming app, and even Holy Shit Chance get censored there. You know, I don't like the restriction. I don't think it is necessary. I don't think WWE is a product that truly caters to the little kids anymore. It is not the way that it was years ago. I feel like more young adults are watching the product, and if they're saying some swear words here and there, I don't think it's any different than the swear words that they hear inside their own homes. But that's just my opinion. I don't think they should be restrictive at all in this sense. And the fact that WWE randomly held a talent meeting that was mandatory about this, it's very interesting. I don't know why they would have to do such a thing. I'm hoping this doesn't impact WWE on Netflix, especially after Triple H's comments. But when you get news like this, the reality is more than likely WWE is going to have restrictions. I'm hoping that they don't. I don't think they should have them. And quite honestly, you know, swearing doesn't make a promo better, but it's just the point. It's the principle. And I think that is what needs to be discussed. And our final topic for today's video, WWE has a huge departure that has been confirmed. A longtime WWE employee, Jason Robinson, he was WWE's longtime lead production designer. He is now leaving the company per the report from PWInsider.com. He may have already even wrapped up his duties with the company this past week at Bash in Berlin. He's been with the WWE over the last 23 years. And you might be wondering, Anthony, Ango, why the hell are you talking about Jason Robinson? Nobody knows who the hell this guy is. Well, he's worked for WWE under the Kevin Dunn era. And as you guys know, the Kevin Dunn era is over. WWE has completely transformed the way that they do production. It's been one of the biggest and best possible changes that they've ever made since TKO became a thing. And quite honestly, it has improved the product so much that, you know, I can understand why WWE would not want anybody that was associated with Kevin Dunn working in the company. There's old habits, there's old things that they've done. And trust me, I'm not advocating for somebody to lose their job. It doesn't appear that Jason Robinson's situation is that he lost his job. It appears that maybe it was mutual or it was his decision. But also at the same time, too, the company has made a complete change as to the way they present their product. And obviously, there are employees that have been there for a long time. And if they choose not to be there, that's completely fine. But the ship is being ran differently. And I think that's important. I think, you know, times change. People got to change with it. You know, if WWE was just firing everybody, okay, that's a little bit different, but that doesn't appear to be the case here. My point that I'm making is that WWE strives towards having a better product. They've done a lot of that, and they've done a really remarkable job, and credit has to be where credit is due. But overall, I think the product is just so much better, not only just creatively, because we already know that, but from a presentation standpoint, visually speaking, WWE looks incredible, and a lot of that has to do with production. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching The Ango Show.